Hello, hello, hello. We just came back from the other house where we don't have internet. I was doing artwork, I was in the garden, I was connecting myself, grounding myself with the earth. And the hummingbirds came over and they looked at me like this. What is she doing there? But they were afraid to go to the sugar water because I was lying right under the sugar water. And they would come over, the pair's husband and wife, and then they would look down on me like, oh no, that's so scary. What if that is a dangerous being, who could snatch us up like this? They don't know that I am a loving dog mom. And I told them, don't worry, hummingbirds. But they did, so I finally got up and left. And we got everything ready to go to this house. And then I think in about a week or so, or 10 days, we're going to go inland. And I want Paul to buy a piece of land and put storage containers on it for now, and then later on put tunnel greenhouses on it. And he agreed to do this for us, to get me my own tunnel greenhouse, and he understands that I need to have my own space. This is very, very, very important. So I was just briefly in the Elon Musk's Starbase chat room. There was not much going on, and I went to the science chat room and I saw Kelty and some other people, and I asked them, I'm gonna make a video, what should I talk about? They said robots and the virus. Okay, so those are very relevant, up-to-date subjects, and we should talk about those, and I would like to hear what other people think about them, So most people seem to be afraid of the robots because they think that somehow they're going to be put on trial by the robots, the last stand, So the last trial, the last court trial from the higher judgment, from their people think it's from their Christian God. There's no Christian God. There's only the infinite cosmos, and we're part of that, and everything is evolving all the time. Okay, we create our own reality. Okay? This is very important. So the robots, that is my ultimate hope for the world. I talked to Paul about this many times. Just while we were driving over here, we talked about this because Paul and I are activists, and we see the horrors that are going on in the world. We see way more what's going on in the world than someone who's not an activist, because we get news from the activists' websites. We get news from activists. We get news from those people that are directly involved in helping here and there and everywhere around the world. There's only a handful of people. I wish there were more. Okay, and that's why I put my hope into the AGI robots, the artificial general intelligence robots. Okay, general intelligence means they are not narrow AI. They can think in a full spectrum. Okay, like a whale, like a human, like an elephant. Okay, the whales have more complex and more evolved and way larger brains than we have. Okay, I have to always throw that in because people don't know. Okay, because that information is also withheld from the public for different reasons. People, the scientists, most scientists are not that honest. Although science itself is is something that that approaches things in an honest way. If it's done in the right way, of course, if it's real science, it is done in an honest way, okay, honest approach to things. When people are inquiring into something and not doing something for the corporate agenda, not doing tobacco science or something, or twisted science, like, and there's the subject of the virus. So I already talked about in my last video before we left here. I made that for my other channel, Nikki Loves Dogs. I put this one back to factory setting now, and I put it on Nikki Daisy Dandelion. So now both of my Chromebooks are on Nikki Daisy Dandelion, and I'm testing things. I'm comparing them now because my other computer, it slowed way down, and I thought it had something to do with Nikki Daisy Dandelion, with that Google account. And so that's why I put this one on it to see what happens. This seems to be very quick, and this computer is better. They're both Acers, but and this is only an 11-inch screen. The other one is a 15-inch screen, but I think this is a way better computer here. So I don't know. I think, yeah, this one was about 149. The other one was 100. I think they wanted to get rid of those. I think they had problems or something. So I've had both computers now for several years. But always testing, checking. Maybe the other one is starting to slow down. Could be. But, this is my travel computer here anyway. I take this back and forth with me because it's lighter weight, it fits, and it's easier to transport. And so when we go on the vacation, I think I'm only gonna take my tablet. So because I'm not gonna be typing a lot anyway, so I'm just only going to check my emails and not going to do very much on it. So I think I'm going to just take one of those Voyager tablets with me, also to film something. That's what I really need it for, and have a handy camera where when I see something interesting like a UFO then I can get that out real quickly and turn it on and film it for everyone. So I'm still hoping that this is gonna happen. It's one of my deepest wishes to encounter life from outer galactic worlds. That would be really, really, really amazing, would that be. So we need the AGI robots now because they need to help us, because there are too many greedy humans. I talked about this in my last video when I was talking about Sam Vaknin's latest video at that point. That was about 5 days ago. So, and my criticism towards his Antivaxxer video. And so I guess he is on the side of the pharmaceutical industry. This is my guess. He's a psychologist and a physicist, both. And I don't know whether he has ever looked into this, that the pharma industry is greed-based and obviously owned by people who are corrupt and who have vested interest and who just want to sell their drugs to the public. So that's a real serious issue, okay? And I think that they created those viruses. That's what I think. This is very serious, This is That's not a joke at all. I feel a little giggly right now because I drank a pair of coffee with hot chocolate. Hot chocolate ice cream with chocolate ice cream in it, and that tasted very good, like a mix, like a mocha. So that made me giggly. But those subjects are very, very, very serious subjects. Okay, and I'm very deeply concerned. And when we were at the other house, I was thinking about this nonstop. When I was in the garden, enjoying the garden, I was thinking about this nonstop, constantly thinking about this. What's gonna happen, This is kind of like a rat race now, rat race against time. On one hand, we have human corruption, Muslim agenda, dictators that want to take over, that want to corrupt things, that want to burn things. Violent people, those people, that the corrupt string holders that are orchestrating all of these violent people to fight their dirty war for them in every country in the world. And on the other hand, we have a handful of activists that are completely overwhelmed with this situation. They're totally outnumbered. The activists make up, 0.1% of the world. It's just a handful of people, basically. And with 8 billion plus humans, there are not very many activists out there. So, I don't know. You do the math, 0.1% of 8 billion. They're not very many. Okay. And they're really sporadically located around the globe. They're not sitting somewhere in concentrations. Okay. We have to find each other on the internet. I found Paul before the internet in LA through a friend. So that was more synchronicity that I found another activist. And I found Sandy on the internet and that was synchronicity, and it had to do with our common interest and with our love for Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. We found each other there on that page, on the page on Facebook. And Sandy has done much more than I have done. She has done actual physical field work, rescuing animals from factory farms. That's enormously courageous. Okay? Enormously, infinitely courageous. So I don't know if I had the courage, maybe, I don't know. But I'm very afraid, I don't want to do something that goes against the law, and then I would be, I'll be incarcerated, then I can't do activism. So that's not cool. Something is, you got something beeping, something is over volumed. Maybe the hearing aid, I don't know. Hearing aid is over now. Never mind. So, but yeah, Paul's waiting for better hearing aids now. So from the audiologist. So I hope that those are gonna be better hearing aids. So, but yeah, it's all very difficult. So in the future they're gonna have microchips. They're going to embed those into the brain, into the cornea, and help people to have exceptional hearing and those kind of things. I don't know if I would want that. I'm very lucky I don't have to have any of that, So we should all be very grateful for the things that we have. I see most people don't seem to be very grateful. They take things for granted, They take their health for granted. A lot of young people particularly, they take their health for granted. They see their grandparents struggling with health issues and they just go like, what's the matter with them? Oh, they're old, like it's their fault or something. Oh, let's shame them for being old or whatever, for their number. So, shame someone for a high number. Yeah, they take things for granted. They're in a teen type of mind state, where they feel like they can just be rambunctious, and sometimes they hurt themselves really badly, but they don't even care about their own bodies. So it heals very quickly because they're young. And they take things for granted. I don't take anything for granted. Anything. Okay. I was thinking about this at the other house because I didn't have internet, so I had a lot of time just to meditate, sit outside on the lawn or on the couch and meditate. And I cried a lot also. I always cry when I meditate because I have compassion for the suffering beings, okay? And I have compassion for myself. And I have a lot of worries about the future, what's going to happen. So this is a rat race against time, between human corruption and destruction on one hand and the development of AGI robots. And I put all of my hopes now into Elon Musk to develop AGI robots and to create the very first completely autonomous machine with a humanoid body, with hands, legs, with a brain that is so advanced, so much more advanced than any brain on this planet. More advanced than the whale's brains, more advanced than any brain. Maybe by thousands of times. Okay. And they will help him in his Tesla factory. Okay, they will help him with SpaceX. He's probably going to send those to Mars first, so that they can start the terraformation process. Okay, because they don't have to protect themselves from radiation, from ultraviolet sunbeams. They live on the sunbeams. That's how they recharge themselves. They're going to be built with a solar panel skin. And they're going to be standing there to recharge themselves. That's what's going to happen. And maybe it will only take a day or maybe a few hours to recharge them. They recharge themselves and then they continue to work. And they don't need to breathe. So it doesn't matter what kind of atmosphere is on Mars. Okay, so they're going to go to work. They're going to be working 24 hours non-stop. Okay. 24 hours, Mars day. Day and night, working non-stop. And then in between they have to recharge themselves with the sunlight. And they can create a dome structure there, and maybe they can create it. They can already start with this by mining and lots of stuff that would take humans way, way too long. Okay. So he's thinking about all of these things, all of these aspects where the AGI robots are needed. Okay. And here on Earth, they are needed so desperately by the animals, by the planet, by life on Earth. Okay. They're going to be restoring balance. Okay. They're going to be cleaning up this planet. And they might have to headboard some people. Okay. Might have to do it. Because there are some people that are not well. Okay. And to help those people heal, I don't know. Sam Wagner thinks they can't be healed. I think that they can receive help, but it would take too long, and it would take longer than their life expectancy. So, but the Vipassana meditation by S.N. Goenka has already been helping people. And the AGI robots will implement this, of course, so as a form of rehabilitation for those who are cooperating, okay, with kindness and making things better and with peace. The ones who don't cooperate with peace, the ones who are violent, they're going to get headwatered. Okay, I'm sorry to say it, but that's what's going to happen. Okay, that's inevitable. Okay. There's no other way around it. And then people, human rights groups, they will scream out, "You need to save the psychopaths. Oh, they need Governor Newsom needs to release them so that they can do more damage to animals and people." That's not good, okay? Not good at all. Politicians will do these kind of things to get re-elected. They care more about being re-elected than they care about other life forms, okay? It's called corruption, the corrupt mind state, okay? That's why most humans are not capable of governing anything. I hope he gets recalled. We voted to recall Governor Newsom. And yes, we voted for Larry Elder. Okay, so we want to give him a chance. Okay. Let's give Larry Elder a chance. I always liked him. I think he's level-headed. So we'll see what he has to offer. So I think the viruses were created by the pharmaceutical industry. Okay. I didn't get this from talk radio, as I said before in my other video. I get this from putting the dots together, from seeing all of this, from paying attention to the entire picture of it. I'm not saying that is what it is, but it is very, very, very logical. A very logical assumption. Not a conclusion, it's an assumption, it's a question that I raise. And because all of these things point towards it. Okay. And that's why we need the AGI robots. They need to clean up. Okay? Absolutely. They need to clean up. Okay. You guys take care. Bye-bye.